Good evening, or probably morning at this point. Once again, this is Miguel. For those who don't know me, I'm a veteran, disabled veteran, works at the VA Medical Center in EMS. I'm going to read you it was an email I should have sent, but I didn't. Actually, I think this is probably one of the most important ones that I didn't get the opportunity, but I want to let you know my experience of when I was having issues and trying to figure out who to talk to in January 2016. Uh, I'm sorry, in 2017, not January, but things started off because I wrote an email to Ms. Walker in January. In February, Ms. Regina Carden, she came to a morning meeting. I wrote an email to her. Actually, we had a meeting with her. Then I gave her a follow up what was going on, and then there was what was it? It was a situation where we had a EMS supervisor position that was open. Once again, I didn't qualify for, but at the same time, they knew who the supervisor was going to be before the interview process even started. Like I said, my department, EMS, is very transparent. They'll walk around and they'll tell you what's going on. I think I was walking down and I heard for the last supervisor that's in my department, I heard congratulations 2 months prior before the person actually got the position. So that lets you know how transparent they are. And then on top of that, in the master agreement, it states that certification is supposed to be open for only 3 months. Well, if you count the time frame, it was what, April? I think it was March 27th. Nor here nor there. I can't recall. That's going to be on another YouTube video. So this one is the EEO that I went to go talk to on May 7th about everything previously that I try to talk to people about. Dear Miss Antoinette Bonton, I want to take the time to thank you. This is what I was supposed to send an email, but I didn't get a chance to. So I want to take the time to thank you for taking the meeting on May 7th after my appointment. I had an appointment that morning, so it made it easier. Even though I really think I don't think I had your attention, your undivided attention, in my concerns as much as you was trying to get tickets for the National African American Museum. As I got there minutes before 9 a.m., you informed me that at 9 a.m. you was trying to get tickets. I asked you if I needed to come back later. You stated no, you was okay. Minutes later, your supervisor came from next door to tell me she gave you permission to do so, but you reminded her you already informed me. As it became 9 a.m., you started online to see if you can get tickets in between me explaining my department and is transparent and how the hire to where as before the interview was started, I already heard who EMS was hiring for supervisor. I informed you that I already sent an email to Miss Regina Carden, and her reply was, if I hear of anything else, this was not my first email to Miss Carden. But she said, if I hear of anything else, let her know. But you can always tell when someone doesn't have their best interest, especially once you hear the emails that I wrote to Miss Carden, Miss Regina Carden, which was second in charge. I think she was acting at that time. Once again, congratulations. She's been made permanent now. This was not my first email to Miss Carden. I also informed you and her about my last supervisor, fast promotion. January, January being my coworker, February being my lead, and March 19th being my supervisor. I informed you that I had put in for both positions and asked my chief why was I not selected. Mr. Roger Gray informed me to ask Juan Seaton after HR. He told me to ask, I'm sorry, John Seaton. And after Mr. Seaton asked for the appointment number, he replied to me and asked me to speak to my assistant chief. After trying to overlook you still trying to get in to get your tickets, I stopped to assist you when it should have been me who had been your attention. Then I came, then I called in on your cell phone and you, oh, I'm sorry, okay. Then a call came in on your cell phone and you said you had to take it because it was your husband. You answered it asking him, did you get the tickets? He informed you that he did not get in. He did not get the tickets, but he's in. After hanging up, you continue to try to get your tickets and listen to me at the same time. After I said I felt overlooked and felt some type of harassment, you felt no wrong had been done, but that you will still look into it and speak to my department head. Still have not heard from you as of January 2018. This was May 7th, 2017. And one of the reasons that I did not finish on this was the letter that was I suppose I sent, but I just didn't send it. I wrote it up intending to because I felt so wrong. This is not the first time I went to an EEO. You know, the first time I went to an EEO um, was because of a situation when I used to work in OR. And I felt as though and I'll get to that second in charge, Mr. Al Rosario was my supervisor at the time. And when I went to, because actually that was the reason why I quit the union. Um, Miss Laura Lamar, she did a fantastic job. Excuse me for jumping around. But when I had my first mediation, it was with Donnell Sanders with the situation that, once again, you'll hear. And she did such a great job with that that she had me join the union. And once I had my situation with the OR was trying to get temporary pay for working in a high grade position, and we went through the channels of doing the right things according to the book. We bumped heads with Mr. Al Rosario and him denying the union a copy of the papers as far as to we can figure out how far along I was working in that department. Well, the thing with Miss Laura Lamar, she came to me and said, "Hey, the union is at a standstill and can't help her." So I asked her, "What else can we do?" And at that point, she said, "We can go talk to EEO." Now, mind you, the EEO at that time, I think I seen her 3 times, but I can only remember 2. But the first time when I went to her, when me and Miss Laura Lamar went to her, the first question she asked me, she says, "What do you want to do?" She says, "Do you want a mediation or do you want your money?" And so the first time I went to her and I explained to her, I want my money. The second time I went to her, she asked me, okay, I do recall, she asked me, how much do I think they owe me? And so she says, give me a total and we'll go from there. The third time that I went to her, she says, don't worry about whatever your total is. I've already spoken with the director and we decide to go ahead and pay you. Now, mind you, that was the first time that I dealt with the EEO. She actually listened. Her supervisor, when I went to go see her and she wasn't there, she explained to me what the reason, what was going on, because she is EEO and she had other things that was going on. I commend the past EEO at the time, for doing a wonderful job and helping me. But this particular time, I feel as though Miss Antoinette Bonton was not even trying to help assist me. She was more concerned about getting tickets for her August vacation to DC so her and her family can enjoy the new African American Museum. And I'm thinking, if you're on the clock, why are you trying to multitask at this point? And then, with that being said, your supervisor is even giving you permission. I told you I work overnight. So it's not like I'm a day shift person where I can just come drop by anytime, like everyone else that's working 9 to 5. I'm not 9 to 5. So, with that being said, it wasn't my first time dealing with EEO. The first time I had a great experience. My EEO actually, at that time, um, oh my God, I can't think of her name, but she was great. Oh, Miss Jan Santaganen. Uh, she saw through the email that Al Rosario wrote. I mean, a contact form. She saw through what he wrote and basically what the master agreement said. And they actually gave me money based on the master agreement and how it was written up. Because once I get to that point, about my next contact was supposed to have been Al Rosario. When I finished with Miss um, when I finished with Miss Antoinette Bonton, I asked her, "Can I go see the director? For open door policy?" And she said yes. So when I went to her office to speak with her or try to make an appointment, the person there asked me what department was I in. And when I told him that I was in EMS, he says, "Oh, you have to see Al Rosario with your supervisor." Excuse me. Now, if I don't feel like if I'm in high school or if I'm a child at this point, so you're telling me that I have to come to the man, take it any way you want, that I know I don't know how much change that he's made because we have had a few bump ins between 2005 up until just recently when I was on third shift before, well, actually, I won't say recently, before he became acting supervisor, acting wherever he was at, director at Fort Mac. We had a couple bump ins because of me assisting people who was having issues with disciplinary actions. The people were coming to me because they didn't trust the union, and the union wasn't helping them, and they felt that the union was failing them. So now I'm supposed to go see a man that I've already had issues with in the past, and do I think he would have been fair? Honestly, no. I mean, I had to go tell my supervisor, my new supervisor at the time, which is my supervisor now, that I'm having issues and they want me to bring you to a meeting to a man that I don't trust. And he said, "Well, what if me and you wasn't getting along?" I said, "Well, that makes sense too. Why would you be present?" And then my thing is, why would I ask you to stay over? To me, I don't think that's fair to ask my supervisor who's already been at work all night to stay for whatever time frame that I can get a meeting with someone that I really didn't feel comfortable having a meeting with. So I think when you listen to Miguel and Al Rosario's YouTube, then you'll have a clear understanding why I could not trust him. But then this is not about Al. This is about the EEO, Miss Antoinette Bonton. Mr. Gil Scott Heron stated the revolution will not be televised. It won't. It will be YouTubed. With that being said, have a blessed one.